Well, we got a brisk start to the day. It's fall, and we did 3 segments about keep on planting. This is still planting. These are the last seeds that we'll put in. This is the seed that I sent out to my Seed of the Month Club. This is called corn salad or corn mache, although I did have somebody that listened to me talk about that on the radio saying it's called corn mash, not mache. That's the French pronunciation. But I did an interview with a woman from Ohio State University. That's her job, is to say all these plant names for their website. She said there is no right way to say whether it's clematis, tomato. So I'm going to go with that. Say it any way you want to say it. Now, this is a real cool weather crop. It's the only time it can really grow is when things are cold. And I've got this cold frame ready and waiting to get these seeds in here. And there's nothing to it. We've got some beautiful compost in here over the years. Got a little bit of weeds too, but that's okay. And I'm going to put this seed down. We're going to put some water on it. This is going to sprout, and I will be able to seriously pick this all winter long. It will actually freeze and then reconstitute the leaves. It's a pretty amazing plant. And you know me, I want to grow year round if I can. If we have a mild winter, I'm going to look like a genius. All right, all I need to do is kind of scratch these in. Once these come up, I might even just stick some garlic bulbs down in here. I did that last year, and maybe some other plants. Now next week, I'm going to fill that cold frame with some cool weather plants. But these are the last seeds, and I'll need to get some water on them. Get them going. Even though these are in a cold frame, even out in the garden, they would sprout. They're just going to be happier, going to sprout sooner underneath this plastic. And I'm thinking about even maybe putting some pansies in here because I saw that they're almost giving them away at the nursery, and that would be a fun spot for them. Have them in there for a lot longer than out here. But even out in the containers, those pansies should last to Christmas. Wouldn't it be nice to see them over winter? All right, we're going to close this up and look at some other cool weather planting. I can't wait to see these sprout. They're going to be happy underneath here, and what else I'm going to put in here, I don't know. But before we get out to plant something else, right behind you, I want to show you last month's seed and how good it's doing. Check out these 7-top turnip greens. They're going nuts. Already time to thin them again, but this is looking good. And behind you, you see, those are beets in there. I thought I had a rabbit problem, but I couldn't catch anything. I closed the trap. It's chipmunks. I'm going to be writing a whole thing about chipmunks and beets. Can you believe it? All right, now we can plant some cool weather stuff. I have to plant flowering kale. This is one of my favorite varieties. It's called Red Boar, and it was actually originally released as a food crop, but it grows tall, tree-like, 3-4 foot tall, and it is extremely cold hardy. I've had them winter over on their own without any protection, and I'm using it as an ornamental. And with these pansies on the side as my spiller and some of my perennial ivy, which I'm putting in here. Love this one too. I'm going to use this as my thriller, and I just love having color all winter long. And what used to be a frost to frost season now has become an almost year-round planting. And I've got a bunch of other different flowering kales. This is the only one that I know of that grows tall and tree-like, but I've got some other short ones I'm going to put in containers too. As I said, just to have color for the winter. And if it winter's over, it has yellow flowers on it in the spring, and that's what we're hoping for. All right, let's plant a few more. It's funny, the chipmunks digging for nuts are always pulling up my pansies. I don't think they'll bother this flowering kale. As it gets colder, this color is going to get better. Did I say that corn mash was the last seed? I lied. We've got a cover crop to put in here, and that's from seed. I was thinking cover crop, but first I got to cut out some of this bamboo. This is the bane of my existence. A friend of mine gave me some, said it was non-clumping. It's in everywhere. And so we're going to cut this out and then get our true last seeds of the season in. Well, you know how I'm always talking about compost, compost, compost. If you can't bring in wheelbarrow after wheelbarrow, this cover crop acts as what we call a green manure. And so what a cover crop does, these seeds are something called winter rye. $2 for that entire bag. And we're going to sprinkle these seeds down here this late in the season. They will sprout on their own. It does a lot of great things for us. It will hold that good soil in place because we could lose it during the winter to erosion, maybe a 1/4 inch. It will also be a great habitat for beneficial insects. We love that. But then in the spring, we cut it down, and as it rots down, it becomes our nutrients for next year's plants. And one word of warning, don't plant it too thick because it's hard to, if you do turn it over, it's hard to get in there and do it. But we'll throw some seeds down here, a couple other beds. And as we talked about before, this is actually going to be a bed for tulips coming up, but that grass is not going to bother the tulips down below. And that's what it is. Winter rye is kind of a flat-bladed grass that is going to give us a lot of great things. Okay, it is already warming up. Let's finish up. I'm going to scratch this stuff in and put some water on it. Still have manure here from last year's application. That's good. Well, check out this nice surprise in the garden. I forgot all about planting these little anemones probably 2-3 years ago, and they're so tough. They've been overgrown by grass, but they still came up and bloomed, and that is so cool. I'm going to actually move this plant out to where it can be happier, but those are beautiful flowers. Now, check me out online. That's where you can find lots of other gardening information, videos, blog posts, and how to join my Seed of the Month Club, where I planted that corn mash seed. Until next week, plenty to do. Trust me. We'll see you then.